energy. And among the renewables, biomass is a predominant for various uses, such as heat, power, and transportation fuels. Biomass resources has been utilized right from the dawn of mankind. So people have been, they are well aware of the uses of biomass. Biomass has got so much of advantages of using it either in the direct form or in the indirect form. Direct form, it can be used right from the, as I have said, from the dawn of the civilization, and indirect form in the more better manner or in the more efficient manner for conversion to the solid, liquid, and gaseous fuels. So biomass has got enormous flexibility for use. Either it uses a fuel or it can be used as a secondary conversion to secondary fuels. It can be used in many other forms. So therefore, biomass has the most flexibility among all other renewable resources. Biomass, yeah, we have already heard that. There are, of course, various technologies, as you can see over here, where there are various technologies which are used for conversion of biomass into biofuels, like gasification, pyrolysis, transesterification, hydrolysis, hydrotreating, fermentation, etc. To obtain different biofuels like biodiesel, then bioethanol, then biogas, then many other types of biofuels. The contribution of renewable energy sources to the final energy consumption, is a key factor in determining the progress of renewables worldwide. And among renewables, biomass is the largest contributor, accounting about 13% of the global energy supply, followed by hydropower and other renewables, new renewables like solar, wind, tidal, geothermal, etc. And biomass has always been a very essential source of energy for India. If you consider the advantages it provides for the production of cooking gas, then power generations, and other recycled products. And India has an enormous potential of biomass, and most of the energy demands can be fulfilled by, or at least a major part of the energy demand can be fulfilled by the biomass. And India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and will continue to enjoy the demographic dividend for next few decades. And in this regard, Government of India has prepared a roadmap to reduce the import dependency of oil and gas sector by adopting a five-pronged strategy, which includes adaptation of biofuels and renewables. And this envisages a strategic role for biofuels in the Indian energy basket. And in this regard, Government of India has formulated the National Biofuel Policy 2009. However, due to various constraints, the target of the policy could not be achieved fully. And a new biodiesel policy, that is National Biofuel Policy 2018, has been formulated. And this new national policy in biofuels 2018, it builds on the achievements of the previous biofuel policy 2009, and also on the the things which could not be completed in the previous policy. And this policy, it sets a new agenda, which is consistent with the redefined role of the emerging developments in the renewable sector. And this policy also aims to bring in renewed focus, taking into the context of international perspectives, as well as national scenario, primarily by utilization of indigenous feedstocks for production of biofuels. And this policy also dwells on the development of the next generation biofuel conversion technologies based on the new feedstock, and promote domestically available feedstock, exploring and utilizing the country's biodiversity. That is very important. So as you can see over here, that the biodiesel indicated target of 20% blending of bioethanol in petrol is petrol, and 5% blending of biodiesel in diesel is proposed by 2030. So this is will be about biodiesel, also about biodiesel production. As you can see, from taking a clue from the national biofuel policy, as you can see that the biodiesel production from multiple feedstocks in India. Shows a Gyan report, India Biofuel Annual 2019, about the biodiesel production scenario in the country. Then but then when you talk about the biodiesel, the most important or striking factor that comes to your mind is the economic, how economic the biodiesel is, whether the biodiesel can compete with the petrol diesel or not. In this regard, the key factors of production as has been identified, are the feedstock cost, yield, conversion cost, product quality, biodiesel sale price, glycerin sale price, biodiesel byproducts utilization, energy cost, and investment. So these are some of the factors that governs the economics of biodiesel production. So, uh, and if you look at the feedstocks, the first point is the feedstock. So, feedstock, for biofuels and food security issues, Government of India's policy on biofuels is they says there that we must invest on biofuels that achieve real emission cut, and at the same time, it must not compete with the food. So that's the government's clear vision. And it therefore it suggests that the lignocellulosic biomass is a key component for India's future biofuels and bioenergy needs. And this India's concern is also similar to the concerns raised by the or aired by the European Commission. They are also similar views on feedstock for biofuels, which further bolsters the prospects of lignocellulose to biofuel around the Europe. So. So if you look at the feedstock for biodiesel production, there are quite a few huge number of tree species that has been reported all over the world, and they are identified as potential sources. So these are some of the feedstock for producing biodiesel. These are the aviation, soil conditions, and agricultural practices. However, the feedstocks are also supposed to fulfill some of the criteria, like lower production cost, higher production scale, and high oil percentage. Some of the new biodiesel policy 2018 says that we must invest in the locally available bioresources. So types of feedstock, I'm not going into the details about it. We know about fats. These are some of the types of feedstock that are generally in use. And then edible oils have been used in a number of countries in US, big limitations of using edible oil as a feedstock because of the kind of feed or edible oil production potential in our country. Edible oil for biofuel purposes. So there are quite a huge number of non-edible oil species are there, and they enjoy a number of what you call advantages, like they are easily available, they eliminate the competition with food, then they reduce the deforestation rate, they are more efficient, they are environment friendly. So there are quite a number of advantages they enjoy, the non-edible oils they enjoy, and these are some of the non-edible oil seed plant species, and their estimated yield are shown over here, but I believe there are much more than what I have shown over here. So these are some of the non-edible oil seeds and the properties of the biodiesel, produced biodiesel, that has been shown over here. We have listed around 40 different tree species which are reported from India and abroad. So their different tree species and their different physical chemical properties are being shown over here. And then but however there are a few limitations of non-edible oils and seed as a feedstock for biodiesel production also exist, like most importantly that they are not plentifully enough to satisfy the global energy demand. And that's a very very important aspect. Last year we had a collaborative work with Indian Institute of Petroleum, IIP Dehradun, CSI IIP Dehradun, and then they have been working on aviation fuel. So they were interested conversion of this nahar oil, mesospharia oil, to aviation fuel. So one of our student he worked jointly in this project. But then, the major problem was the availability of nahar seed oil. So, we tried to, collect nahar seed oil, but then the collection cost, and then the conversion cost, extraction of oil cost, is very, very high. And that's how, it was of only academic interest. So now also we are trying, in a bigger scale, we are trying to see where are the pockets of these mesophilia, where it grows, and how best we can involve the people at the grassroots level to, collect the seeds of mesophilia, and then extract the oil. So the economics of the aviation fuel will also depend upon, in these issues, like, the availability of the nahar seed, and then its conversion to oil. So these are some of the issues. The same are the kind of issues even for the what you call the biodiesel production also. So recently, algae has emerged as a good feedstock for biodiesel production. They have high photosynthetic efficiency. They have high growth rates and productivity, and they are known for their high oil content. However, they also have a quite a number of obstacles, as far as the microalgal, as they use as a feedstock for biodiesel production, because they have high production cost, requiring high oil yielding algal strains and effective large scale bioreactors. So these are the feedstocks we have been discussing about. So, but then what we can see that they have advantages as well as the disadvantages too. And recently, Government of India has come up with the repurpose use cooking oil. So you must be knowing about that, the used cooking oil, in generally in restaurants and all, they use the same cooking oil uh, again and again. So in this process, they develop some these oils, develop some polar compounds, and these polar compounds are quite harmful to our body. So without finding any other alternative use to for these cooking oils, the restaurant owners, they keep on using the same kind of oil. So the government of India has come up with this repurpose use cooking oil, where the scheme is that someone can collect the repurpose use cooking oil, and then from a number of places, and then can be used for conversion to biodiesel. So in this study, what we tried to see, so that the non-edible oil seeds as a source of energy. So in this part of the country, as you can see, that there are quite a huge number of non-edible oil seeds are there. This part of the country, Northeast India, is very rich in the biodiversity. In fact, we are one of the biodiversity hotspots of the world, in the world. So there, among other biomasses, so non-edible oil seeds also. Is a There are quite a number of diverse non-edible oilseed tree species scattered through the northeastern region. So we have a high biodiversity as far as the non-edible oilseeds are concerned. So here, as you can see, quite a number of non-edible oilseeds are grown over here. They grow, of course, naturally. Naturally. So in this study, we are trying to see what kind of non-edible oilseeds can be used, and then what are the different products that can be obtained through a cascade of approaches. So here in this study, we have taken two biodiesel tree species, oil non-edible oilseed tree species, that is Cascavilla tibetia and Magnolia champaca. These are the two non-edible oil-containing seeds from Northeast India. We have selected these two species because quite a good number of the area is occupied by these two species. And then we are trying to see if the seeds or the oil obtained from the seeds of these two non-edible oil bearing tree species can be converted to biodiesel, and then the byproducts obtained in the process, if they can become converted to other biofuels or chemicals or materials through some other approaches. So we'll be discussing in details about these conversion processes, or about the utilization of these two non-edible oil yielding seeds for biodiesel and other biofuels or chemicals and materials in the slides to come. So, as I have said in the beginning, that this work, is based on the approach that not only generally the approach that is used in the preparation of biodiesel is a transesterification. There is only one process, and from the one seed or seed oil, we get only the through the process of transesterification, we get biodiesel. But here the approach is a biorefinery approach. In a biorefinery approach, it is much analogous to the petroleum refineries. You know about the petroleum refineries, that in the petroleum refineries you have a petroleum, raw petroleum or crude oil, and from the raw petroleum or crude oil, through different processes, through different chemical processes, they are being converted to a number of different products as well as different types of chemicals and materials. So here a biorefinery is quite analogous to the a petroleum refinery in the sense that here also a biomass is converted to a number of products through a cascade of approaches. Not only one product, but a cascade of approaches has been utilized for obtaining a number of different products, and that's how it is similar to a petroleum refinery. So here is a biorefinery concept. I'm not going into the details about it. The work that is going to be presented here, can be shown over here. The flow chart of the non-edible oilseed-based biorefinery. As you can see, non-edible oil, the non-edible oil seeds. Uh, then the seed kernel and the seed cover. The non-edible seeds can be separated to the seed kernel and the seed cover. Dr. Manjula, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. I can see the slides.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So as you can see that the non-edible oil seeds, they are can be separated to seed kernel and the seed cover. The seed kernel, after the succinate extraction or through other extraction processes, you get the vegetable oil, and in the process you get the de-oil seed cake. In the process of extraction of vegetable oil from the seed kernel or grounded seed kernel, you get the de-oil seed cakes. The vegetable oil that is obtained from a seed kernel through the process of extraction, succinate extraction, or other extraction processes, can be converted to biodiesel, through the process of esterification and transesterification. That is a conventional process, so now I'm not going to do the details about it. So you get the biodiesel and then you get the glycerol. The biodiesel, we know the uses of biodiesel. Biodiesel can be used in various ways, so I'm not going to the details about it. The glycerol is also an industrial product. It can also be used in a number of different ways. So let us go back to the seed kernel. So the seed kernel, in the process of extraction of vegetable oil from the grounded seed kernel, the de-oil seed cakes are being, produced, and these are of no use. We discard the de-oil seed cakes, but they are a lignocellulosic component. They are a lignocellulosic waste. So this de-oil seed cake, along with the seed cover that is obtained from the non-edible oil seeds, they can be an excellent feedstock for the pyrolysis process. Pyrolysis is a thermochemical conversion process where the any kind of lignocellulosic biomass can be heated in the absence of air, so that the large number of large macromolecules are broken down to smaller polymers, right? And then in the process of pyrolysis, you get two major products. One is a solid, that is char, you call it char, and the other is a gaseous product. And the gaseous product, when it is passed through a cold trap, you get the gaseous product condenses, and you get the bio oil. In bio oil also there is a aqueous fraction and the thick fraction, but I'm not going into the details about it. I call it as a bio oil only. And the non-condensable gases are here. The non-condensable gases are obtained after it is passed through the cold trap, where a part of the condensable gas is converted to bio-oil and the non-condensable gas is vented out. The non-condensable gases, is also a combination of a number of combustible gases, which can also be used in different types of, it has different types of uses, as we saw over here. The bio-oil that is obtained as a result of the pyrolysis process, this bio-oil, It can be blended in diesel, in furnace, or in boiler, or in electric generator, or in the industrial burners, etc. It can be used as such, or this bio-oil can undergo, upgrading technologies, upgrading techniques, because this bio-oil contains higher amount of oxygen. That's how it needs a upgradation, and if it is upgraded through different kind of techniques that is available, you can get transportation fuel, good quality transportation fuel. Otherwise also, this bio-oil is a, you can say, is a storehouse of different types of chemicals, different types of chemicals, then diesel pumps mixed with diesel. So there can be different various uses of this bio-oil. And then the char that is obtained, can be utilized in various ways, like soil amendments, there's wastewater treatment, manufacture of supercapacitors as building materials. It has got, the solid char has got but charcoal and biochar, they are technically the same thing, but then they differ in their intention of use. If you intend to use it for if you intend to use it for non-fuel purposes, then we call it biochar. So biochar can be utilized in, as a soil amendment, biological extent. And again, it has a liming effect. It improves the soil condition, physical condition, right? And there are many more good benefits of biochar application in soil. Then also, because of its good surface area, it can also be used for heavy metal absorption for wastewater treatment. Then again, even in supercapacitor also we have used biochar. Then in building materials also, biochar can be utilized. So biochar, has received enormous attention from the world community in the in the recent years. Then the biochar can also be utilized as a solid acid catalyst. As you can see over here, biochar can be utilized as a solid acid catalyst, and these solid acid catalyst can be utilized for replacing the inorganic catalyst, which is being used in the process of esterification and transesterification for biodiesel production. So again, in our work, I'll show you later. So these are some of the, a kind of a non-edible oil seed based biorefinery. So here in the previously, our concern is the production of the biodiesel from the non-edible oil seeds. But now in a biorefinery approach, you can think of different other approaches as well, and then you can think about different products, different not only biofuels but also chemicals and materials can also be obtained from this kind of a biorefinery approach. So here these are some of the different biorefinery sorry, these are the biorefinery systems and classification. Then these are some of the platforms, products, feedstock, and processes. I'm not going into the details about it. uh, some of the works that has been carried out in our laboratory, in our department, on the biodiesel production.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
We can see the flow chart, non-edible oilseed based biorefinery for a
Yeah.
long time.
Okay. Yeah, but now it is changed. Now it is changed.
Uh,
It is not changed.
no, sir.
I took. Sorry, probably I have to go like this. I cannot make it full screen.
Okay, okay.
Is it changing now? Is it changing
Yeah,
now?
now it is changed. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, but I cannot make it a bigger screen. A full screen
It's
I
okay, sir.
cannot
No
make.
problem. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So these are some of the works that has been reported on biodiesel production from non-edible oilseeds from our department, Department of Energy at Tezpur University, and some other, the other areas, other places. So I'm not going into the details about it. So here is the schematic of our present work. The schematic, as I have shown over here, is the same thing. But then here what we have done, extra thing we have done, the dual seed cakes is being utilized for production of a mosquito repellent. what we have done, that we have, while doing the GCMS analysis of dual seed cake, we found that a component of the in the dual seed cake, they have, reportedly mosquito repellent activities. So we tried to see if because this chemical content is component is also available in the dual seed cake. So we tried to see if the dual seed cake can also be utilized as a mosquito repellent. So we are going to discuss in details in the coming slides. So here, these are the materials used. These are some of the botanical descriptions. I'm not going into the details. This is again a Magnolia champaka. English name is champak, and in vernacular name is Titasopa. These are some of the botanical descriptions. So this is the methodology for biodiesel production, oil extraction. So I'm not going into the details about it. This is a very standard process. So uh, grounded kernel, then oil extraction, then the oil obtained oil, then we go for the transterification or esterification process. I'm not going into the details about it. So again, the seed kernel and the dual seed cake, or seed cover and the dual seed cake, they go for, they are being used as a, as a pyrolysis process. Pyrolysis, as I have mentioned earlier, that this is a thermochemical conversion process, and it gives three major products like solid sour, liquid bio-oil, and gaseous uh, gases. So here we are concerned more about bio-oil and the bio-oil and the aqueous fraction and the biochar. That is solid and liquid fraction we have been will be discussing about, and not the gaseous product. But however, I must say that the gaseous products can also be utilized, can also be studied for a better understanding. Uh, we'll be discussing this whole work in four stages. The first stage is here. The first stage is here. I'll try to be a bit fast in this stage, because this is a mostly, known to all. So here is the fatty acid profile of the cascability of bio-oil. Uh, it is also it is confirmed from the, the sorry, yeah, this is 1H NMR and 13C NMR. But before that, what's sorry, yeah, total ion chromatogram, and then the fatty acid profile, and then the, 1H NMR and oh, sorry, I just take a actually, this is not the one I was here for. Can you give me just 2 minutes?
Yes, sir. No problem.
Okay,
We
okay,
are
okay.
here.
Yeah, you can see now, right?
Yes, sir. It is
Okay.
visible. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the as you can see over here that the oil content of the seeds, it was determined experimentally and found to be 62% and 42% respectively for the Tiveti and Champaka. And they were determined, there were various properties were characterized. And most importantly, I'm going to tell you the important points. The most important, the vegetable oil of Cascabilla tivitia, they contain 35.30% saturated and 64.69% unsaturated fatty acids, unsaturated fatty acids. And while Michaelia champaka oil contains 22.50% saturated and 77.50% unsaturated fatty acids. And it was observed that that oleic acid was the major constituent of Cascabella tivitia, while it was linoleic acid which was the highest in proportion. Then the we did 1 inch NMR or 1 inch NMR and 13 NMR of the both the bioresin, and we found that it is confirmed that NMR and spectra of the bioresin is free from the glycerol, as no corresponding signal of glycerol moiety appears in the both the proton NMR and 13 NMR. Then yeah. The fuel characteristics, of the Cascavilla tibetia and Magnolia champaka oil in biodiesel are presented over here, and these are being compared to the ASTM standards and European standards, and also compared to the petrodiesel. So I'm not going into the details about it. This is very much a conventional work. Here, the comparison of properties of the Cascavilla tibetia and Magnolia champaka vegetable oil with the similar non-edible vegetable oils, which are already reported, like Jatropha, then Pongamia, then Terminale valerica, then Sepindas, then Mesoophyria. So what we can see from this is that the Cascabella activity and Magnolia Sampaka oil can be used for biodiesel production, as well as we can see that the properties of both these Cascabella activity and Magnolia Sampaka are comparable with the already reported tree species, and they are can be considered as a suitable feedstock for biodiesel production. So then coming to the some of the engine performance studies, we did the brake torque of CTVG and magnesium biodiesel, and we did we tested for three blends, B10, B20, and B30, along with at full load condition for diesel, and then B10, B20, and B30 biodiesel blends of C. tivitia and Magnolia champaka. Engine speed until it reaches a maximum value, and then started decreasing with further increasing the engine speed. And at higher speed, the torque decreased due to and the argumentations in the mechanical losses. The reduction in torque for the blends are due to higher viscosity and density and lower heating frequency. The brake power, as you can see, that higher viscosity and density together with higher volumetric fuel consumption resulted in lower brake output if compared to diesel for all the blends, Then brake thermal efficiency, uh, as you can see, the decrease in the brake thermal efficiency for biodiesels, can be due to the higher density and viscosity, as well as lower calorific load than diesel, and which can be considered as a major factors in the reduction of BT of the tested biodiesels. Mm. Then higher viscosity decreases automation and fuel evaporation, which results in the more uneven combustion than that of diesel fuel. And if you look at the BSFC or brake specific fuel consumption, uh, we can see that the BSFC decreased gradually and reached the lowest value at 3000 RPM, and then increase with an increase in the engine speed for all the blends in the study. And this is due to greater heat losses from the combustion chamber valves and at lower speeds. and therefore it was observed that BSFC values were higher for biodiesel blends than the diesel fuel at all speeds. This difference in BSFC with diesel and blended fuel was probably due to higher heating value of mineral diesel compared to the blended fuels. And then if you look at the emission characteristics, we found that the significant decrease in carbon monoxide emission when running on biodiesel plants compared with diesel fuel, it could be attributed to the fact that carbon content of biodiesel was lower than that of diesel fuel. And then again, the presence of oxygen, more amount of oxygen in biodiesel fuels also, allowed a complete combustion to take place, which lowered the formation of CO in comparison to conventional fuels. The NOx emission, it was observed that biodiesel blends B10, 20, and 30, all the biodiesel blends, showed higher NOx emission in our study values compared to diesel fuel. Also, NOx emission started, increased with increasing engine speed for all fuels. Um, the relatively higher oxygen content of biodiesel probably results in a complete combustion of the fuel and higher combustion temperature, probably, and this also cause NOx emission. And in addition, higher viscosity of biodiesel, it could lead to the injection of bigger droplet size and shorter ignition delay, which might result in NOx emission. Furthermore, the presence of nitrogen in the biodiesel plants, it could, because it is the biodiesel is originated from a biomass source, and which nitrogen is already present in the biomass, so it could also lead to higher emission of NOx. But there are, I tell you, the contrasting results. In many of the studies, they found that NOx emission is also, in case of biodiesel blends, is also less than the petrol diesel. So, this is the summary of the work, but this part of the work, that the biodiesel obtained from these two species, they are in conformity with ASTM and European standards. And then B10 and B20 blends can be used in diesel engine without any engine modification. And then as far as emission is concerned, CO emission is really lower, while NOx emission increased, probably due to some of the factors. And then, they can be considered, these two species can be considered as a suitable feedstock for biodiesel production. So going back to the next methodology, what we can show over here, the dual seed cake that is, obtained as a result of or which is a bioenergy byproduct, along with the seed cover. These two are used in the as a feedstock for thermochemical conversion, that is pyrolysis, and we'll be seeing the results over here. So here the experimental setup is like this. This is a laboratory tabletop setup, laboratory scale setup, and then it is a reactor inside this cage, and then it is a diameter of 3 centimeter, length 48 centimeter. The temperatures that were applied, as we have said, that pyrolysis is a thermochemical conversion. When you heat the biomass in the absence of air, it causes the breaking down of large biopolymers to smaller polymers. So the temperature is one of the major factors over here. So there are three temperatures we applied: 400, 500, and 600 degrees Celsius. The heating rate is also an important parameter. We applied here a constant heating rate of 40 degrees Celsius per minute. And nitrogen flow rate, so this pyrolysis has to take place in a inert atmosphere. So the nitrogen flow rate of 100 ml per minute was, applied, or given. So this is the experimental setup and the experimental conditions or reaction conditions, and these are some of the physicochemical characterization properties, physicochemical properties, and the methods and the apparatuses used in the process. Before going for the pyrolysis process, we did study the physicochemical properties of the CTDC. CTDC means Cascavilla tibetia DOL cake, Cascavilla tibetia seed cake, and Mesua Mycaria Sambhaka DOL seed cake. So these are the three DOL seed cake and seed cover. And so these are the three feedstocks that we have taken for conversion for exploring the pyrolytic conversion ability. So initially we did the physical chemical properties of these three different biomasses. So what we can see that the CTDC, CTSC, and MCDC biomass sample had the had a low moisture content, that is around highest is 5.33. As you can see over here, moisture content is 5.33 highest in MCDC, but otherwise it is 3.60 and 5.10 in the two other feedstocks. So that though the pyrolysis process can convert any type of lignocellulosic biomass, but then a low moisture content biomass is always a preferred source than the high biomass, high water moisture containing feedstock. So as far as that is concerned, so these can be considered as a very good feedstock for thermochemical conversion. And then the S content is also low. The lower S content and then the higher amount of volatile matter also, it indicates the suitability of the biomass for as a sample or as a feedstock for thermochemical conversion. Of course, the higher amounts of hydrogen and oxygen compared to carbon reduces the energy content of the biomass compared to the fossil fuels, uh, because lower energy is contained in carbon oxygen and carbon hydrogen bonds than the carbon carbon bonds. So higher amount of hydrogen and oxygen is really really a area which is lacking, we can say, as far as the fossil fuels are concerned. The MCDC biomass has found to be low calorific value than the CTDC biomass, which can be attributed to the higher O/C ratio of MCDC than CTDC biomass. This compositional analysis of the biomass is very very essential to determine its suitability as a feedstock for the pyrolysis process. And because this composition analysis means lignin, cellulose, and hemicellulose, and this is very very important because the pyrolytic product yields, it depends entirely on cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin, which are the three major building blocks of the lignocellulosic biomass. So now if you look at the thermal degradation behavior, yeah, thermal degradation behavior of the CTDC, these three biomasses. The term, you must be knowing about TGA. It is a very rapid and specific method used to determine the mass loss of biomass and calculate the thermal degradation. So the degradation of the biomass, as can be seen from the figures, they take place in three different stages. And the second mostly takes place in the three different stages. The weight loss in the second stage, is maximum, and that's why this can be considered as the active pyrolysis zone. And this is the pyrolysis product yield of CTDC, CTSC, and MCDC. It can be, as you can observe that from the figures, that an increase in pyrolysis temperature from 400 to 600 degrees Celsius, the biochar yield decreased as the organic material present in biomass decomposes more at higher temperature, resulting in the release of more amount of volatile materials. The bio-oil yield, if you look at the bio-oil yield also increases corresponding to the rise in pyrolysis temperature from 400 to 500 degrees Celsius. And however, the yield decreases at the final pyrolysis temperature of 600 degrees Celsius. The lower yield of bio-oil at 400 degrees Celsius was probably due to the fact that at lower temperature pyrolysis may not have been completed. And at 500 degrees Celsius, probably the almost all amounts of biomasses have been fully converted. And at higher temperature, the bio yield decreased, probably due to the secondary cracking reaction of the pyrolysis gases, resulting in higher gas yield and subsequently lower amount of bio oil. So this is actually, these are the major parameters, the parameters that I have mentioned in the previous slide, that the reaction, the heating rate are, and the residence time at the final temperature, though we have not experimented that or investigated that in this study, but then the reaction final temperature, the heating rate, and the residence time at the final temperature, these are some of the important parameters which govern the the pyridaceous yields. So if you want to change, if you have some interest of getting, if you have interest of getting only the solid product, then certainly your reaction parameters will be different. And if you have your interest on the liquid part, then your reaction parameters has to be different. So though we have not given much different parameters, we have only studied three major temperatures, three different temperatures: 400, 500, and 600 degrees Celsius, and only one heating rate, that is 40 degrees Celsius per minute. However, there is a great deal of study that is being going on at this moment, and in some of our other works we have been doing that. We are trying to see what kind of different temperatures, what kind of different heating rates, what kind of different residence time they have effect on the pyrolysis process. So these are altogether different study. We will be maybe we can discuss later. Mm. Then the physicochemical properties of the bioil obtained from the CTDC that the oxygen content in the bioil is lower than that in the original biomass feedstock, and the significant decrease in oxygen content of the bioil is favorable because the higher oxygen content decreases the calorific value of bioil. Um, mm, uh, Therefore, it can be observed that bioil obtained from pyrolysis higher energy density of the bioil. Again, the density of bioils were found to be higher than that of the transportation fuels. The higher density of at lower temperature, and thus the prospect of blending bioil with transportation fuels needs to be explored. So these are some of the four characteristics of the bioil are as far as their physicochemical properties are concerned. So that's how we state that this needs to be upgraded either through catalytic techniques or through non-catalytic techniques, but needs to be upgraded if we intend to use it for or as a transportation fuel. Become oxygen content, high oxygen content is one of the major drawbacks of the pyrolysis process of our pyrolytic oil. So here is the FTA analysis of the these three oils, bioils at obtained at maximum yield, that is at 500 degrees centigrade. At 500 degrees centigrade, we obtained the maximum oil of bioil, maximum yield of bioil. So therefore, we took the oil obtained at 500 degrees Celsius for further characterization. The FTA is also done on that. So I'm not going into the details about it. But then, however, the FTA analysis shows that the bioil obtained from pyrolysis contains a very wide range of complex organic chemicals. The This is the 1H NMR of analysis of bioil. The it is observed from this table that there are major differences in the overall chemical composition of bioils as indicated by the different portions of the spectra. There are there are differences. There are differences in the overall composition of the bioil as can be seen from the 1H NMR. Then the GCMS analysis of the bioil, because GCMS you must be knowing is gas chromatography mass spectroscopy analysis. So this is applied. This technique is applied to identify the organic compounds present in the CTDC and MCDC bioils. So it can be observed that most of the compounds present in CTDC and MCDC bioils are aromatic and phenolic in nature. Again, it is observed that some of the acid and oxygenated compounds are also present, which account for the acidic nature of the bioil. However, the presence of acids in bioil is not desirable due to its corrosive nature. And as I've said, the oxygen content, so acidic, more acidic groups contain chemicals in the bioils. These are some of the drawbacks of bioils, and it's used directly as a fuel. Again, the presence of carbonyl groups, which are they are oxygenated compounds, they also affect the heating value and the stability of the bioil. Therefore, these compounds must be removed from the bioil, and this is done during the upgradation process. This can be done during the upgradation process. However, the GCMS analysis also gives us information regarding the presence of some essential compounds like thymol and 8 methyl octahydrocoumarin. So thymol has been used in traditional medicine, and it possesses various pharmacological properties such as antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, etc. And similarly, the coumarin compound, that is 8-methyl octahydrocoumarin, has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And these shows that they can have these bioils can also have biomedical applications too. As I have said in the beginning, that bio-oils can also be considered as a storehouse of different types of chemicals, as that can be seen from this table. So these are the some of the characterizations of the bio-oil, or the liquid component of the pyrolysis, liquid product of the pyrolysis. So the biochar, the solid product of pyrolysis, that is the biochar, is also characterized through different techniques. Here, the physicochemical properties are being shown over here. Here, the ultimate lysis, then proximate lysis, then pH, EC, and calorific values are reported over here. I'm not going into the details, but most important observation is that the oxygen content of biochar was less than the original feedstock, and the carbon content is high. So there occurs a significant decrease in the calorific value of the biochars from the significant increase in the calorific value of the biochars than from the original biomass feedstock. So again, the one important observation is that the pH of the biochars increased with an increase in the pyrolysis temperature. The increase in pH may be due to the separation of alkali salts from the organic materials. Therefore, I have said that this high pH biochar can be used. As you can see, pH of the biochar obtained at higher temperatures, they have extreme high pH, like 10.8, 11.2. So these can be utilized as a liming material. So these biochar can be utilized as a liming material. Apart from their role in improving the physical, chemical, and biological properties, the biochar can also have a liming effect in the soil when it is applied as a soil amendment. So here is a Van Krevelen diagram. So here a Van Krevelen diagram was plotted using the H by C and O by C ratios of these three different biochars. And then as you know, that the H by C and O by C ratios determine the degree of aromaticity, carbonation, and maturation, which can be represented by the Van Krevelen diagram. And it can be observed that O by C and H by C ratios of biochar decreased with an increase in pyrolysis temperature from 400 to 600 degrees Celsius. Again, the carbon sequestration potential of biochar is also shown over here. Carbon sequestration potential means that you must be knowing about carbon sequestration, and the biochar has a great carbon sequestration potential, because the carbon that is stored in the biochar can are recalcitrant in nature. Recalcitrant means they are not liable to be degraded by both biotic and abiotic factors. So they cannot be degraded by both biotic and abiotic factors. That means the carbon stored in the biochar will remain as it is for a long period of time. So if you put the biochar in the soil, apart from its good effects like improving the physical, chemical, and biological properties of soil and the liming effect of soil, it also stores the carbon that is obtained from the biomass. Again, the biomass carbon is obtained from the atmosphere environment. So the biochar carbon utilizes ultimately the atmospheric carbon, and it puts back in the soil, which will not be acted upon by any factors, both biotic and abiotic, for a long period of time. So this is a kind of carbon sequestration, and this carbon sequestration of potential of biochar has been recently given a great trust. And many if you will find many research papers or many research projects are being worked recently on carbon sequestration potential of different types of biochar obtained from different types of biological wastes or biomasses. So here, the carbon sequestration potential of biochar is one of the most important properties indicating its long-term stability in the soil. So the higher CSP indicates the higher resistance of biochar against the biotic as well as abiotic degradation. The recalcitrant index R50, it evaluates the biochar quality for carbon sequestration. and it is measured by the relative thermal stability of a given biochar to that of graphite. The CSP and R50 index of CTDC, CTS, and MCDC biochars obtained at different temperatures, it shows that the recalcitrance increased with an increase in the pyrolysis temperature from 400 to 600 degree Celsius. And this increase can be attributed to the increase in aromatic carbon in the biochar with temperature. Again, here the FTR analysis of biochar is also being done over here, so I'm not going into the details about it. But then you can see the chemical groups, how the chemical groups, the number of chemical groups, how they are changing. Then the same analysis of the CTDC, there is scanning electron microscopy study. Scanning electron microscopy study, it studies the surface morphology of the biochar. As I have said, that biochar, because of their modified surface biology, modified surface morphology, morphology, they can hold the heavy metals in their surface. They can absorb the heavy metals in their surface. So scanning electron microscopy is a great tool in studying the surface morphology of the biochar. So it is used for high magnification imaging. So the same images of CTDC, MCDC, and HTSC biochars are shown over here. And the surface morphology of the CTDC, CTSC, and MCDC biochar are strongly affected by the pyrolysis temperature. The same images indicate the amorphous and heterogeneous structure of the biochar obtained for both the feedstock. And then, okay, so I'm not going into the details about it. The EDX analysis is also done. Then the XRD analysis is also done. The biomass crystallinity and the structure of biomass can be studied with the X-ray diffraction. So I'm not going into the details about it. So in a nutshell, we can say that these are the maximum bioil yield for the three different biomasses at 500 degrees Celsius, with a heating rate of 40 degrees centigrade per minute. However, I will say again that different heating rates will probably give different yields of bio oil. So and then compounds like thymol and 8-methyl octahydrocoumarin present in bioil, they indicate its other uses, like in biomedical applications apart from biofuel. So biochar can be used as a for correcting the soil acidity, and then for as a good carbon sequestration material. So the third work that I am going to present over here, the conversion of dual seed cake to mosquito repellent. So here, of course, this work I'm not going to reveal many of the things because this work is not being reported till now. So it's a very recent work. I'm not going to reveal many of the things over here. Please excuse me for that. These are the two samples we have taken, and these are some of the other materials which are being added in the production of the mosquito repellent. So CTDC and MCDC, they are the active ingredients. Then we have used organic fillers, then binding materials, then preservatives, and then burning materials. And these mosquito repellents are being utilized against Aedes aegypti and Culex mosquitoes. So these are two important mosquitoes which creates a lot of problem here. Because northeast region has receives enormous rainfall, and as a result of this, quite a huge number of mosquitoes are there, and they create a lot of damages. And this work, I must say that this work was carried out in collaboration with Defense Research Laboratory Tejpur, because they also have a good laboratory. They also work on mosquito repellents from biological sources. So this work was carried out in I'm not going into details about it. I'll show you some of the slides. These are the knockdown effects of mosquito repellent with CTDC, MCDC, and CTDs. One is CTDC, that is Cascavilla dual cake, Magdalene Champaka dual cake, and both CTDC and MCDC as a combined active on this is on active Aedes aegypti mosquito, and this is on Culex. So these graph shows about the mortality of these active ingredients against these two mosquitoes. So in summary, we can say that the bioefficacy results shows that 63.33, 59.71, and 71.76 for 46.15, 60.41 minutes, and 57.14 minutes respectively for the mosquito repellent containing 30% Cascavilla activity and magnesium dual cake individually and 35% in combination. So what we have in a nutshell, we can say that these two bioenergy byproduct of biodiesel production can be utilized for production of a, uh, a mosquito repellent, which is a good biomaterial. The fourth part of the work is on the conversion of this char into a solid acid catalyst to replace the inorganic catalyst which is being used in the production of biodiesel from vegetable oil. Generally, during the esterification and transterification reaction, we use some inorganic catalyst, and this solid char is converted into a solid acid catalyst. And these solid acid catalyst, in our experiment, we have found that they can be, it can replace the inorganic catalyst. And this is important because this, if we can replace the inorganic catalyst, this will reduce the cost of biodiesel production. So there are two implications, two major implications. One is that you are utilizing the solid, so is a one of the products of pyrolysis. Then again, you are aiming at reducing the cost of the inorganic catalyst through this biocatalyst. So here I'm not going into the details about it. I'll just show the effect of heating. Sorry. The analysis of the catalyst. The catalyst after preparation is being analyzed, and then yes, this is the conversion rate versus reaction cycle. So the inorganic catalyst, so the solid acid catalyst that is prepared, it produces 90.5% convert. It gave 90.5% of conversion in the first cycle. In the second cycle, it gave 80.5, 85.7, and third cycle 78.5, fourth 65.1, and 58.4. And then the biodiesel that is produced by replacing the inorganic catalyst, which this the solid acid catalyst, solid acid catalyst, we found that the biodiesel obtained is, they are equally good. They are, and the biodiesel that is produced is, the properties are quite, they falls within the ASTM and European standards. So in a summary, the solid catalyst derived from CTDC biochar showed excellent catalytic activity and stability in biodiesel production. Mm, Maximum biodiesel yield of 90% was obtained when the transformation was carried out at 85 degrees Celsius with methanol to oil ratio of 9:1 and a catalyst ratio of 28% at reaction time of 2 hours. And as a summary, we can say that a new environmentally benign catalyst has been derived from the byproducts of biodiesel production, which can be used in the production of biodiesel. So, in the overall context of overall economy of biodiesel production, catalyst produced from the biochar can be a viable option. So, overall conclusions from these four different parts of work, including which utilizes different approaches or a cascade of approaches through different processes to obtain different types of biofuels and biomaterials. We can say that any kind of biological material, it can be used in a biorefinery approach. It can be used in a biorefinery approach through a cascade of approaches for obtaining different types of biomaterials, biofuels, and all. So currently, the approach should be, to produce as many different types of fuels or chemicals has to be, this is also important in the context of the bioeconomy, because the in a bioeconomy concept, or that is because being widely being circulated all over the world, that the next decade will be bioeconomy or a circular economy. So in the bioeconomy or circular economy, the main major concept is that the byproducts of one process will be a feedstock for the next process, and then you get another product, And then if you have any other byproduct in the second process, that can be used as a feedstock for another process. So to obtain a zero waste to, the objective is to have a zero waste, and the final objective is to have, different kinds of products, and different types of biofuels, different types of chemicals and materials. So with this, I conclude, Dr. Manjula.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we have time for the link till 7:30.
Okay.
If you want, you can continue till then, sir. We are liking it. The way you are showing the exhaustive literature work you are sharing. Thank you so much. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if your time permits, sir, you can continue for some more time. No problem.
No, yeah, I finished, yeah, because today also, this morning, right from the morning, I have been, first went to the university, spent 3 hours in the university, then, a long interview, or sorry, long training session for the election. I was really, really told.
Okay.
Later on, when I came back home, I found, oh, I'm so tired, but then I gave you my word, so I thought, no, I'll have to do that.
Thank you
Anyway,
so much. Thank you so
yeah,
much that you have kept the promise and you,
yeah, 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 yeah,
in spite of your busy schedule, you join us. So thank you
yeah,
so
yeah.
much. And the walk is definitely so much research work you have shared with us. I'm sure the participants have they're much more benefited from this
Yeah,
lecture.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yes, and then participants, I'll be very happy to help any of the participants if they want to. We have in our Department of Energy, we have so much of facilities. So for biofuel or for any other types of work, if any of the participants, if any kind of collaborative work they want to have with me or with any of the members of the department, certainly we will be very happy.
participants,
So
have any
there
questions?
seems to be one question from Vasant sir. Vasant sir, you may ask.
Yeah, yeah. Say, you have talked about this champa
Hmm.
and the other plant. Okay.
Hmm.
But somehow I have moved in Arunachal and Assam quite a bit.
Hmm.
Never spotted a single tree of this champa and that other one.
Okay, even in Assam also you could not find it.
No, I've never seen it. Whereas this Nahar, I have seen number of them.
Champak is there. Champak is there. Mycelium champakite is there. It is a kind of indigenous tree in Assam. So there are quite a good number of patches in forest areas where Mycelium champaka is grown.
Forest I have not I have gone, but I in Tinsukia I was there. I was there in Dibrugarh, Nahar
Mhm.
Lagoon. Anywhere I could not spot that tree. And the other one
Okay.
which you said, that Stivatia or something,
Uh-huh.
the seed is so hard. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
you extract the oil from that.
Yes, seed is hard, but then this is doable. This is not a very yeah. This can
Right.
be.
But that seed is just like wood.
Yeah,
And
when it becomes matured, it is a bit hard in nature. That is true.
yeah,
It
yeah,
is true.
very hard, very hard.
Have you tried it? Yes.
Yeah, no, we used to play with those seeds in childhood.
Okay, 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 okay.
That's a very good to play.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because they will not degrade or they will not break or anything. And these trees, champa trees, we have number of them in Bangalore
Okay,
and Konkan region also. The
okay, okay.
seeds are just like your badam, आप बादाम बोलते हैं ना,
हाँ.
मूंगफली
Mumpali, yes, yes, yes.
हाँ मूंगफली जैसे वो बीज होते हैं, and that will
Mhm.
definitely have a lot of oil. But this other stevia or something I said.
But then Magnolia Champaka, the seeds are very small in nature, and that's how, as you can see in my presentation, we did not show the seed cover of Magnolia Champaka.
Hmm.
The one probably you are talking about is a different species, I believe.
Champaka, lot of oil is there, I know.
Yeah, a lot
But
of oil is there, but the seed cover
stevia or
is
something,
so small
stevia,
in nature.
it
The
has,
seed is.
see, it has, I mean, the bell-like flowers,
Mm-hmm.
yellow and pink. Two varieties are there in my place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very popular evergreen plant
Yes,
as a
yes.
road divider.
And this is avenue tree. Yes, road divider avenue tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, I'm saying.
that's what we are.
We, we don't
That's what
call it
that
avenue, it's a road divider. It's a small one.
road divider, road divider. That is what also is also our interest, because
Correct, correct.
what we thought that if these kind of trees, which are revenue avenue trees, which can utilized for beautification of the road, if
Yeah,
this
yeah.
can be planted on the national highways, or the the new roads that are coming up, this will
We
be
have
a.
it in Maharashtra, number of them.
Yes, 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 yes. In
Yeah.
one of our work, in one of our work, what we try to see, we presented this work, of course, not concluded, not done in a bigger scale, but we try to see, the petrol consuming roads to petrol yielding roads.
Good.
Mm. So we try to see the economics of these kind of a biodiesel plants. If we grow on the sides of a national highway, and then what will be the kind of a small self-help group, what will be the kilometer distance that has one self-help group has to cover for economic utilization of these tree species for their at least conversion to oil,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if
Yeah.
a bigger scale factory can buy the oils, and then the convenience is very easy, because they are located on the national highways or the state highways, so
Yes.
communication is very easy.
Yeah. It's a wonderful tree for the road divider. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
yes, 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 yes. Thank you,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, this champaka is this korobi, no? Right?
No, no, the Champaka, Kaskabla Ribidi is Korobi.
Okay. And this one is
The
champaka.
Champak in.
অসমীয়াত কি কৈছে এইটো?
Champaka is a tall tree with leaves like a mango.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
small 5 or 10 petal, very fragrant flowers are there. Golden color.
Tall tree. It's a tall tree.
They're very tall.
Yeah.
Sompa.
Yeah. Champak. English name is Champak.
Actually, I'm trying to find out what have I
In
seen
Marathi,
this?
in our language, we
Short
call it
message.
son safa, because it is a golden color.
Okay, it is Son Sapa. Yeah.
Sir, one more thing I would like to ask.
In Kannada, it is
Where? In which language?
Sampige. In Kannada, Sampige.
Sampige
Marathi,
in Kannada.
son
Okay.
safa.
Okay.
In Bangalore, there is one road known as Sampige Road. You got number of trees on that road. It's champa tree.
Connection problem.
Yeah, correct. This is the
Yeah.
thing. These are
Yeah.
all, ये मूंगफली समझ के बच्चे खा सकते हैं.
Okay, okay, okay. But then the seat cover is very small, light in yeah. So that's how we did not take into account the seat cover.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is just like मूंगफली.
Mumfali, yeah. Right.
You can mistake
It
it
is
for
small.
that.
Yes, it is small. Yes.
Sir, that you mentioned about making mosquito repellent from the biomass, no?
Yeah,
So,
dual seat cake.
so is it still in a lab scale, or like you have like
No,
found some?
we are still working with the DRL Defense Research Laboratory Tejpur. So we are trying to see if it can be made into a commercial level. At least before that, we have to go for a patent.
What plant extract you are using for that repellent?
We are using the DOL seed cakes as an active ingredient over here. DOL seed cakes, which we are using as an active ingredient in different proportions.
Oh, so the smoke is going to be repellent, not the
Exactly.
smell.
Not the smell. Smoke is going to be repellent. Yes.
Okay.
If any other participants have any question, I think somebody has written something in the chat box. Okay. Ravi has said, thank you, sir. Very informative session. And Prashant Chaudhary has said, a very nice and very interesting and informative talk. Thank you, Prashant and Ravi for the comment. So thank you, Kotogi sir, for joining us.
I initially thought it was Kakati, not Kataki. Because I have a friend Kakoti.
Yeah. Kakotis and Portuguese are different.
Many people must be confused.
Exactly, sir. Thank you for reminding, sir, correcting, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Vasan sir, you too, and thank you, participants, for joining. And
Vasan sir is from where? Vasan sir?
I am from Maharashtra. I belong to a small village, so I know all the trees and birds and mosquitoes and everything.
Okay, great to know about you. You are based in Maharashtra.
Yeah, I used to visit Arunachal and Assam right from 2013.
I see.
And stayed there for 3 months to 8 months.
Okay.
There I crossed my roads with Manjula madam.
Okay.
And she was so nice. She used to take me to Nahar Lagoon, the NIT, everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I have visited your Kaziranga in 1980, first time.
Okay, I see. So if you happen to come to Assam, please visit our university also, Tejpur University.
Yeah.
It's on the way to Arunachal, Naharlagun and all.
I know that.
Yeah.
I have moved through Assam and Arunachal quite a bit.
Okay.
Lot of it. Probably I must have seen more places than you.
Okay. Thank you for being an ardent lover of Assam and Arunachal.
My visit to Assam was in 1980.
I
when
see.
I visited Kaziranga, this Nonggaon,
Okay.
Cherrapunji.
I see.
All these places I visited in 1980. Were you born that time?
Yeah. Very warm. Yeah.
Right.
Good to know about you, sir.
Yes. Much.
Okay.
And I love nature.
Yes. Yes, it's a nature, but for nature lovers, this part of the country is a paradise.
Yeah. And this Nahar tree in Neris, you got a beautiful avenue.
Yes, it's a beautiful avenue tree, because the shape, it's very safe.
It's a Nerist.
Yes.
Nerist in main road.
Yeah.
Is full of those trees, and it has a peculiarity that the new leaves.
Yes, they are golden in color, almost golden in color.
They shine so much.
Yes.
And the flower is also beautiful flower.
Yeah,
And
if you have visited
medicinal uses.
Yes. If you have visited Assam Agriculture University, the main entrance of the Assam Agriculture University is also full of this Nahar tree. And then our university also, we have the main entrance of the Tejpur University also, on both sides of the road, main road, is full of Nahar trees, and everywhere you will find Nahar trees.
Yeah. And this Nahar Lagoon means only with that name.
Yes. The name itself comes from the Nahar trees, probably.
Yes. It's a beautiful tree. Yeah.
Yes, it's a beautiful tree.
I tried to plant it here, but did not come up.
Okay. Probably this part of the country, this Indo-Tibetan region, probably is the most suitable region for this, the geographic condition.
It is there in Kerala also, I'm told, but I have not seen it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that flower contains what is known as Nag Kesar.
Nag Kesar, yes.
Yeah. So it is there. I am told it is there in Kerala also.
Okay.
It did not come up in my house.
But then I believe if you keep on trying, one day it will come up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, I will get the sapling itself.
Yes, 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 yes. You can. Once you visit
A lot of
Northeast
trees
again.
come under the tree in monsoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of them come up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, then thank you to all. Thank you, Vasant sir. Thank you, Kotogi sir.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Rohit. Thank you all the participants.
Yes,
And
yes.
participants will meet once again tomorrow at 10 o'clock as usual, and for the first session. So thank you. We'll call it a day then.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again to the organizers, and thank you all the participants, including Vasant sir, for your interactions. Thank you so much.
Right. Send us the link, tomorrow's link.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll send a link. Okay.